It's the finale.
Yeah, it's the finale. Keep going.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I just want to get my 2 cents in.
Yeah.
I feel like you feel that way because that's just your personal opinion, and I completely disagree on every level.
But saying it's your personal opinion against a game design choice it's not an opinion. I'm basing it off of my experience. Like, I'm basing it off of my knowledge of other games and games that were designed well. It's like in Super Metroid. It's like, okay, so the first boss you fight in Super Metroid, right, is a Chozo statue that wakes up and kind of fucks you up, right? And before that, you go through the whole, like, you go through the area and it's like a desolate world. There's no creatures. But then you end up going down and getting the Morph Ball, right? And after that, the world kind of wakes up and the space pirates know you're there and there's enemies around. And then you go up, you get the missiles, and then use those missiles to open the door to that boss, right?
Okay.
Now imagine there wasn't a save door before that boss. Is it challenging to die at that boss and then have to do that all over again? Are you learning anything new? Or are you just having to replay it again?
I feel like you're like literally just comparing apples to oranges.
But all I'm doing is I'm comparing the fact that there's not a save before the first boss of outside the tutorial level.
I honestly don't think there should have been a save there at all for that boss. For the boss you're talking about in Dark Souls, I don't think there should be a save. I'm glad there wasn't, personally. Because if there was, I would have saved, and then I would have used all my souls, and then I just would have been going back through the area that I'd already been through. And then when I beat the boss, I wouldn't have gotten this insane high. I would have just been like, okay, well, this was fun, but I've played a million RPGs like this and done.
Okay, the fact that it's hard, though, isn't a good game design choice, though. Like, you're saying, like, because you enjoy the challenge, it makes it good. That's fine.
No,
and challenging is good. Trust me. Like,
I'm not arguing the game design for that particular. If I wanted to argue the game design, I would reiterate something completely different than that. That's just my personal opinion about that portion of the game, of the save.
I'm just telling you, like, look at me. Am I a bad gamer? Am I bad?
I don't even think there are any bad gamers. I think people are just good at certain types of games.
You don't run a YouTube channel with Eric. Oh, Bert! Sick Bert!
Damn.
Anyway, jokes aside, now tell me, am I bad at, like, puzzle solving and figuring out a situation that's been put in front of me? Like in video games. I would say
no. Say in Dark Souls, yeah, but that's...
Well, no, that's not... You're not getting the point of this question. I'm asking, am I bad at that kind of stuff? So then why would someone like me, who is very intuitive and very, like, good at putting that shit together, look at that and just go, that is a daunting task. It's not fun to figure it out. I don't want to play it. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not an idiot. So now imagine Johnny, every gamer wants to play, and he's like, oh, well, it's too hard. And then you say what you said before, jokingly, oh, we'll get good. That's not good game design then. It could be a fun game, but it's poorly designed then. Because
I don't judge a game's good design based off of who can play it, though.
A game should be designed so that anyone can pick it up and become good at it.
I completely disagree.
But that's what game design is. Like, you can't agree or... that's what good game design is, Jake. It's not like a personal opinion on, like... I'm not, like, going off my feeling. Like, that game design 101 is make your game accessible and make the rules and, like, the rules of your world understandable to the lamest of person.
I guess you could say that. Yeah, sure.
That's like a Webster's dictionary definition of game design. And
I guess under that definition, then, yeah, you could argue that the game is very poorly designed.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And it's not the game. It's that opening section. Because, like, the Asylum is actually a very well-designed area.
I guess all I would say is that you could argue that the game is poorly designed, but me, personally, I love the game design. I think it's...
Well, that's fine. That's fine for you as a gamer. Like, you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But to look at it, like, subjectively, when you should be looking at it objectively, is, like, the wrong...
I don't find any reason at all to look at it objectively as a gamer.
I don't know,
because it's my personal experience with the game. There's no reason to step outside of myself and my enjoyment of it.
I guess because of this, I just kind of look at it like I'm trying to be a student of gaming. So I look at, like, game design choices like that, and I scratch my head because they had it right in the Asylum. The save point before the Asylum demon is actually, like, I think 5 minutes before him, maybe 5. Like, it gives you time to, like, understand, like, the first time you fight him, it is like oh god, what am I fucking gonna do? So there's still the high, because it's like, this is an unbeatable beast. Like, look at this thing. But after getting to try things out and discover, I didn't even know how to attack the boss from the Undead Verge, because I was too petrified to die to even try things.
But why were you so afraid to die?
Because it was another 20 minutes of my life I was losing if I died. Every time I died, you have to go back through the undead purge.
I don't understand why it took you that long to get through it, though.
Because you have to be careful with every enemy, because I wanted to have every one of my flasks so that I could experiment and try things. If you don't have all your flasks, you can't try things against the bosses because you won't have enough health.
Yeah.
You have to clear. So it took me like, what, 2 tries to figure out, okay, like on my second try, I went, okay, I need to get to this top and clear out these archers. Cool. I learned something from the game. But all of a sudden, dude just jumps up there. Now I'm like, oh, so my vantage point's gone.
I think what would benefit you is if, because while I was watching, I was like, okay, this is what he would do and this wouldn't happen. Oh, that's what he could do and this wouldn't happen. And I feel like what you weren't doing is saying, I died. Why exactly did I die?
And to me, it's like
every single time
thing
you
is,
die, you
you're
have to
too
go,
far.
why exactly
You're too far away from that death for it to matter, because now you have to get back there, and it's too daunting. It's like 20 minutes of your life again and again and again. 15 minutes, 10 minutes, again and again and again, just so you can try one thing. It'd be like if the Sans fight in Undertale, there was like you had to fucking wipe out the core again. It's not challenging. It's just daunting. It's a long process, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. I have to do this all again, and it's time wasting.
I will agree that it can be daunting at times, but
it's just time wasting, and everything else. The rest of the game could be that difficult, and it's fine. But it's the first enemy outside of the tutorial area. Like, give the player a small break, that small, like, all right, here's your last hand before we send you off into hell again. Like, because you've been sent into hell. In that area, like, even getting to the Undead Purge is there's multiple ways you can go. And there's a lot of trial and error of like, all right, I want to go through the graveyard. Oh, wait, shit, there's a bunch of fucking skeletons over here kicking my fucking ass. And fucking, oh, God. Motherfucker.
That's one way for that to happen.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I feel like one thing is, I feel like you're, while also being too afraid to die, you're also not afraid enough to die, because there's multiple situations where
I was being as careful as I could be.
But that's the thing, like, you're being too careful when you needed to be less careful, and you're
But that's the thing, you don't get to figure that out because you die so easily.
I mean, I feel like, okay,
because I picked a build that was like more fat, and like it was based off shield parrying, which I needed to get better at, which is fine because that was what my class was about. But like, I never wanted to try that because you just die. And it's not like I'm sitting in my room at like late at night, like could spend 3 hours getting the mechanics down. Again, I'm on a YouTube channel, so
it's
like,
what I was gonna say is you could have completely bypassed the shield parrying thing and just gotten better at dodging and making sure you lock onto every target.
I was like, again, the lock-on mechanics being unintuitive didn't help me. To me, the right stick.
Every single enemy that you did not lock onto was like, this person's gonna kill him. Like, it was like, you're gonna die if you don't lock onto every. Because it's like having an enemy around you and your character's not actually looking at him.
Okay, so it's called right 3, right? When you click in the right stick, that is such an off-brand control. Like, it's such a like.
Yeah, it's not. It's not used.
Yeah,
but it's
so a pivotal control should not be mapped to that button. If I'm gonna die anytime I don't lock onto something, then that shouldn't be R3.
But that's something you should be having your hand on all the time anyway.
But you're moving, and it's very easy to click in and out that control spot. I've done it a lot with what game do I play that I do that all the time?
I think I did it. I've done it a couple of times where it's gotten me killed, but that's usually just like, oh damn it, why did I do that? But
it's not intuitive to crouch with that, or not to crouch, to lock on. That's actually a crouch button usually.
Some games, yeah. But yeah, I feel like it's the control that moves the camera around. And if you need to move the camera around, you're like, oh, I need to stay in this spot, click it in.
But it just
makes more sense.
It's not intuitive though to like, because you tense up usually if you like, and my tense up is here. It's left trigger. It's always left trigger because maybe it's because I played Metroid Prime and that game was designed fucking beautifully around. It had to use a controller that like they didn't use this for a first-person shooter. They used the C stick is what I was pointing to Jake at to like design that. So they designed the whole game around the controls where it's like Dark Souls. I feel like the controls were sometimes at odds with like, maybe it's just because I played other games before Dark Souls. So like what my brain tells me should be like this control, and this control weren't, so it like messed me up. Like anytime you have to go into autopilot mode, I would die.
Yeah, and that happened to me a lot too, because I was used to other games where the controls were totally different. It just took me a little while to get used to it.
And I just don't think that like, some of the controls are fine, and I understand why they were like mapped that way, but I just think some of them were so unintuitive that it like hurt my experience. Like, and the fact I couldn't change them bothered me too. I always.
Yeah, I always.
God damn it! I just lost my fucking main.
Yeah, that's how
I've been
felt
sitting here.
Mario,
I've been
too.
sitting here just ranting and losing.
I'm coming back with Link. No, I'm not. I'm still so far behind. I don't even. Let's hold on. I'm gonna check first.
You have like 3 characters left. I have the.
I like
bottom.
we're like, let's make this the finale.
And Paul's probably gonna have to split it into 2 episodes, and people are probably watching right now like, that wasn't the finale, or it's like we're into the finale. Yeah, you've got Link and Zelda, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 characters.
I honestly didn't plan on winning any of those matches. That's why I was like, yeah, let's just push it. I think you've just been focusing on talking so much.
Yeah, well, it's like, I don't think Dark Souls is a poorly designed game. I think that section is poorly designed, and because I think it like that early on in the game, people want to be trying things. They want to be like, you want the difficulty to come from like you making mistakes. You don't want to feel like the game's just dicking you. I understand that's like, oh, it's Dark Souls. That's oh shit, I went to the normal version, not the Omega version. Oh, weird. This is gonna be interesting
fight.
Yeah, because I don't know what happens on this stage. There's probably gonna be things and. Oh, come on! I was so close.
That was good. That would have been really smooth. I'll give you that. But no,
the Umbra Witch looking to put it away.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like
I know it's hard to hear. Like I can sit here and tell you, Mario 64 has one of the worst camera fucking game design choices, like in a 3D platformer. And it's not that it's a bad choice; it was just poorly executed. Granted, it was the first 3D platformer. Like, but it's my favorite game, so I don't want to hear shit like that, you know?
well, I don't mind hearing it. The only part that like leaves me like, it's just because you're basing it off of all the things that I liked about the game. So it's like, oh, you know? It's like, I mean, I guess objectively that could be seen as bad, but I mean, me personally, those are the things that drew me into the game, that I liked about it, you know?
If you lined up 100 people, how many people do you think are gonna agree with you? Like, just that, not like you against me, but like your mindset of like, I want a game to literally like whip my ass into shape. How many people are going to be like, I want to play that, I want to buy that, that's fun?
I don't know.
Out of 100.
I couldn't tell you.
I would guarantee you it's 10 or less.
Yeah.
So when designing
Probably right.
game, if you're designing a game for 10% of 100 people, it's not well designed. Granted, you can design games for a select few audience.
Which is what the guy who made the game literally said.
Zelda. But it doesn't make, like...
He said, this is not a game for everybody. This game is meant to be punishing. It's for the people who want the punishment.
But I just don't think that's good game design. It doesn't mean it's poorly designed as a game in whole, and that idea is fine. But if you're looking at it objectively, like game design 101. If you're teaching a game design class, I would show the Undead Burge as a how not to, where the Asylum is a how to. It's very weird how Area 1 and Area 2 are so contrastingly different in like
to me, Area 1 was the worst area in the whole game. It was like, this is literally boring.
Because it's teaching you how to play the game. But the thing is, you don't, like,
it doesn't even teach you. It's just like, this is really easy, and you're not going to learn anything because it's so fucking easy.
I don't think that's true. Because, like, it teaches you about how, like, it teaches you about traps. It teaches you about being ambushed. Wow, and that was it.
It's over.
I won. Bayonetta was Trevor Hoffman. Oh, it wasn't quite enough. Paul can split into 2 episodes still. It'll be fine. But no, I'm going to finish this conversation. We've got like 2 minutes. You can start. We could have a Ganon v Ganon fight to end it.
Yeah, let's do it. Don't have to ask me that.
Wait. Oh God, fucking get out. Oh God, no.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. On Dark Souls 3, there's an optional boss that's way harder than the end boss. That motherfucker took me like 2 hours to beat, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get him. And every time I dodge, and I just barely didn't dodge, like I didn't execute it perfectly, I would just like, no! But when I finally beat him, I literally screamed. My girlfriend heard me upstairs and was like, you did it! And I was like, fuck yeah! Like,
honestly, but the thing is, you're thinking I think hard is bad. The Genocide route of Undertale, those are 2 of the hardest boss battles I've ever done in my life. Undying the Undying,
and it's hard that you can learn.
Because you know why you can learn? Because there's a save point right before both of them.
See, so you can try a save point everywhere in the game though. Like you die and you literally come back where where you not when you die, you turn off the game and you come back like I don't even remember. All I know is the game saves your progress. Maybe not where you're standing, but where your character is at, like statistically, all the time. So like the only real thing that's a save point I think you're referring to is mostly just like
the bonfires.
The bonfire.
Yeah.
Which
so when you die, you go.
The mechanic there is all you have to do is use your shit or just die and lose your shit, and then explore all the fuck you want everywhere as reckless as you want. I learned everything I learned from that game with no souls on me, just running around doing shit.
So you're saying the game gives you like level and XP for like, you know, after you kill something. But then you're saying to go like get rid of all the XP you got, spend that, and then just go fuck around to learn. It's like that.
There's multiple stages of the game. Like you have
imagine
to...
in Breath of the Wild if after you got killed, you got sent back like 30 minutes of gameplay. You wouldn't want to explore. The difficulty and exploration don't go hand in hand.
I don't see why you're seeing 30 minutes of gameplay there though. Like I feel like you're attacking every enemy when you should not be attacking them at all.
But that's not. And that's bad design. If you have enemies, they should all be there to be hit, like to be.
See, that's
to gain.
Where we disagree. Like I feel like that's one of the things
then
that makes the
then
good
what
great.
are the enemies there for?
Great.
Then what are they?
They're literally pitfalls in Mario. You're not there to kill them all the time. Some of them are just there to be avoided. That's why they give you 20 souls. When others, you fight them, you get 2,000 souls. It's like I should.
But you have to try to figure out how many souls each one of them has. Like you have to try it and fight them and lose.
Well, yeah, you could kill one enemy and you're gonna be all right, you know. Like just to figure out, okay, fighting that guy was a good idea or a bad idea. But you always go out. You wait till you're in a position where it makes sense.
But the thing is, they gang up on you. If you don't, I've done it where I've ran away. Like we told Eric, we told him to try to run away. Remember when we? No, because you can't just run past enemies. Because all of a sudden you'll end up by like the Hydra.
You guys ran way too fucking far, okay? I was like, dude, you guys are going right to the Hydra. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, whoops. That was actually one of my favorite moments.
I killed that fucking.
But there was no bonfire even out there.
Like, there is. You guys didn't find it. You were right by it though. You passed 3 bonfires.
I looked it up online and there weren't. It said like there's no bonfires there. Have fun. I was like, oh god.
There's no bonfire like right next to the Hydra, but in the area and in the area leading to that area, there's bonfires.
We were looking.
Believe me, I've spent days at those bonfires just like exploring because there's so much to find.
Well, and that's the thing. It's just the game design and the whole exploration that the world wants you to do don't line up. Like, you can't have a game that's that hard and expect people to want to, like, run around in it and frolic around in the fun times. It's like, no, because if I run around, I'm going to fucking get killed by something. And then I'm going to have to go back to the fucking undead birch! I just don't think it's good game design. Just that area. That's my argument, is that the undead birch is just not a well-designed first area of a game. It's like... And I know there's like, oh, it's not the tutorial, though. It's like, all right, so imagine Ocarina of Time if the first temple was just hard as fucking balls, like when you're an adult, like the Forest Temple. It's like, no, you kind of want to, like, it's before that, none of the temples had keys. So you want to learn, all right, now I have keys. Like, what do I do with these?
I feel like the way I see it is like, you get killed by something, right? You immediately go, never get killed that way again because that's how you get killed doing that. And then you don't do that.
But there's just so many enemies and shit that it's like overwhelming at times. Like,
yeah, but then you go, okay, so if there's this many enemies, what do I do then? You know, and then you figure
but then
out.
But then you don't have time because you run away and they follow you. You try to fight them and you die. The point is, I don't think it's good game design, and I won this, so my opinion wins.
Okay.
Lukas wins. Paul, put it up on screen.
All right.
Lukas wins.
Yay.
Thanks for joining me, Jake. Welcome to my channel. I'm always right.
That's okay. We're always right to ourselves.
Jake, anything you want to say before we
Yeah. I love you. I love Dark Souls, and I love all you guys out there listening to my beautiful voice. That's it.
That's actually how Jake sounds when he's off mic. This is like, hey everybody.
I'm just talking like this, no? Yeah, that's
Join us next time.